Okay, moving on. This is sad news. Over the weekend during Travis Scott's third annual Astroworld Fest, 8 people died, including a 14-year-old boy, and hundreds of others were injured. Now, according to authorities, at around 9:15, a crowd of 50,000 people started moving towards the front of the stage. Now, once people moved closer to that stage, multiple people passed out because they couldn't breathe. I heard it was really hot as well. Now, at least 24 people were taken to Houston hospitals, and 11 were reported as needing CPR in progress when they were being transported. It's also being reported that at the concert, a security guard, they say allegedly, he was injected with drugs, and that most of the concert goers were under the age of 18. Now, according to Variety, Travis Scott will provide full refunds for attendees who purchased tickets to Astroworld. As parents and godparents, how do y'all feel about this story?
It's a tragedy, and we can point the finger and say, there should have been more security, they should have been more whatever. But the truth of the matter is that really, if you had a whole army force in front of that gate, it wouldn't have been able to stop the people from behind pushing all those people with that force to be able to make them suffocate, fall down, be trampled on. It was nothing they could do. And they even tried to stop the concert and say, hey, wait. They couldn't hear because he is actually full blown in his concert, giving entertainment. And so I know that he took to Twitter and said that, it was such a sad time to be able to have to give entertainment to people, but have to hear that you took the entertainment for granted and started doing other shenanigans. Well, now this may potentially shut down concerts because we just coming back to life to be able to come out and say, hey, during COVID, we know how to act. But I guess some of us don't.
Well, it's super sad. And what I was curious about was, when you're up on stage and being able to see what's happening. So Selena, I want to go to you with this. When you're on stage performing, is it easy to recognize what's happening in the audience, or is it just kind of like a blur with all the lights?
Well, it's definitely a blur. A lot of times you can't even see the audience. It just really depends because there's lights flashing in your eyes too. Like when you're on the stage. Sometimes you're just performing blind, and that's why you see a lot of artists, they have to bend down and kind of really get involved with the audience. In my opinion, it appears he's done a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot of shows, and this particular type of incident hasn't happened before. So I guess it's safe to say that I don't feel like he perpetuated it. I think what I'm curious to know is, why on God's green earth, we speak about the COVID and coming back in performances. Why do we feel that it's so necessary to pack out a place so ridiculous, so to the point where you can't even have elbow room? Like, who's this greedy where you have to pack out a place like that? Nobody wanted to be like, okay, this is enough capacity. Okay, first of all, just on the COVID side, this is enough capacity. This is too many people. Like, even though it's outside, there still should be some form of,
regulation.
Right. Yeah. And like, what is it called? Like when they do the fire, like a fire,
like a capacity limit.
Right. The capacity level, the hazard. And in terms of security, it couldn't have possibly been enough security. Like, where was Travis's security to rush him off the stage?
Well, he saw somebody passed out in the audience and he was the one doing the concert, said, hey, hold on.
But what I'm saying is, here's my thing. If any one of us is on stage and my personal security person sees foolishness and chaos, immediately he's getting me off the stage immediately. So if I'm the other fans and I'm looking like, man, Travis gone, then it's like, dang, okay, something really is wrong here. That could have been a signal too that something was wrong too, but his security didn't want to get him off stage. Like, didn't nobody want to tell the people or anybody, like, it's time to get off the stage?
I think with that many people, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I think you made a point about the greed thing. And Vivica, I want to get your thoughts on this because yes, maybe people are trying to make up for the money they lost during COVID. So I don't want to be in a crowd of 50,000 people ever in my life.
I don't understand why they thought that was safe.
Not now.
Yeah. Vivica, how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm with you on that, Claudia. I can't. When I go to concerts, even now, I either want to be in a VIP area where it's I know where the exits are to get out. I get claustrophobic when I'm around too many people or things get too crammed. When I saw the incident happened and how sad Travis was about it. I love that he completely came on and was like, hey, whatever we got to do, I'm going to aid the families. I commend him for being a man, because he could have been like, hey, not my fault, and walked away from it. But he's issued apologies. He's offering refunds. My main thing that I said about this was crowd control. Y'all cannot be allowing 50,000 people to be packed into an arena where there's not sections, this is a lesson learned, a sad lesson learned, where 8 people had to lose their lives. But there has to be crowd control, to hear that people like, what kind, y'all injecting people with needles and this, that, and the third, like, what's going on? And then the crowd, they were so young. Like, I heard there was a 10-year-old there. There was a 14-year-old there. Parents, y'all gotta watch. I know y'all kids is like, I want to go. I like Drake. I like this and the third. But we've got to start with the parents as well too. Y'all got to watch where y'all children are going. And did y'all see any masks?
Exactly.
They was just out there wilding. This
Since
is
everything's supposed to be vaccinated and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
We got to pump our brakes. I realize that people, were stuck in the house for a year and a half, this and the third, but losing your life going to a concert ain't worth it.
Moving forward, I just think you do more shows in the city with a smaller crowd. I'm with you. I am extremely claustrophobic. 50,000 people, anything can happen. Anything, a shooting, it's mass chaos, and a lot of people they're lucky, not lucky. But the fact that it's 8 and not 800 with that many people there.
Yes.
Out of so
50,000 people there.
That's a city.
Yeah, and that's just the count. Because when you looked at it on TV, it was like, wow, where are they? Were they in a stadium or something?
Outside.
Outside?
That's a small city, 50,000 people. Now, both Scott and Kylie Jenner released statements about the tragedy. I know they must feel awful. Yeah. Travis said, I'm absolutely devastated by what took place last night. My prayers go out to the families and all those impacted by what happened at Astroworld Festival. And here's Kylie's statement. She said, I want to make it clear, we weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show. And in no world would we have continued filming or performing. I'm sending my deepest condolences to all the families during this difficult time, and we'll be praying for the healing of everyone who's been impacted. Now, there's multiple reports and footage of fans jumping on stage and telling Travis's team to stop the concert because people in the crowd were dying. Did y'all hear that part?
Yeah. Well, I saw footage of a young lady that was climbing up a ladder, and she was actually talking to the cameraman and telling him to stop. And he has on the big ear, the headphones. So he's like trying to do his job, and he doesn't know, like, is she trying to?
Right, she could be crazy.
Yeah, or is she trying to rush the stage? Like, what's going on? So once again, this is a lesson learned. Someone made a statement saying, I think it might have been you, Claudia, where you said, hey, do more shows, smaller audience. Let's get some crowd control. This is an awful lesson learned.
And let's stop being so quick to pack things out.
Yes.
Like why are we doing this? Why is everything going to be the most people? This isn't the first one that was like this. No one died, but it was another one that was a lot of people like this before.
I had friends that were there. They some of those tickets were $500 in the back. That's it's a great thing.
That's great.
Yes, it's great. Yeah.
Well,
which is a sin.
Well, our thoughts and prayers definitely go out to all the families of all the victims, and we are so sorry this happened, and we do hope to make some changes. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Oh, and once again, Travis is refunding those tickets. I want to make sure that he gets, that we report the story correctly. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back with more Cocktails with Queens after the break.